level of governance or support or all the things that go on in an athletic department in a higher ed institution versus what it would be in a private business for sure. But you know, those things are, you know, the concessions and stuff like that. I mean, I felt for Centerplate as our partner, and that's why we partnered with them. We tried to help them through the process. They put in new software that failed. Nobody wants to hear that. They just want their hot dog. And but I think as we went to other schools and one after another, nationally, we're having trouble with staff and concession issues to that issue. Those things come up all along. They came up over the course of 4 years where, you know, either we failed in a service level or the bathroom was dirty, whatever it might be. You know, you just deal with them. Fans these days want to put it all on Twitter. You know, if their seat's cracked, they post a picture. If they're standing in line, they post a picture. If whatever, somebody says a bad word in the stands, it's on video and posted. It's just where we are. I think that, again, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't. I don't know. I feel like I have the ability to really focus as a leader. It's one of my better attributes.
What's U of L's biggest challenge now that, you know, you won't be able to oversee it? What do you know, moving forward, what's U of L's biggest hurdle?
Yeah, I think that, you know, it still remains where we are in basketball. The unknown's a doozy, Mark. I mean, just knowing where the NCAA is and not just with our case, but where the NCAA is. I mean, there's a lot in front of them even dealing with these cases that we just don't know. And I think the unknown is hard. I'd love to be able to give a tangible answer. Everybody wants closure. But I think when you spread these things out over, you know, 5, 6, 7 years, when you think about when the allegations occurred, maybe they need to shift to a pro model. And there was a really unfortunate incident with the Chicago Blackhawks, but the league deals with it by not penalizing everybody there and going forward. They just say, here's your monetary fine. It's a $2 million fine. Get on with life. Run a better program and put better people in. They fire everybody involved. They pay the $2 million fine, and the Blackhawks are moving forward. In college sports, you don't do that. You sit around and wait 5, 6 years as someone's beckoning to determine the specific of the allegation. I think if they told some of these schools, we're gonna fine you $4 million or $6 million, I think they go like, okay, instead of going through a long appeal and everything else, and you move on. I think the models I know, all due respect to Condoleezza Rice and the Rice Commission and what happened, just come and say you're going to get bigger penalties ain't going to solve it. I can tell my daughter she's going to be 2 weeks instead of 1 week for being home late for curfew. I don't think it changed. I just think that there's a lot of things that need to be considered on how to deal with that specific issue of the NCAA. And I could go on about the whole collegiate model and where Congress should or shouldn't play a role relative to what they did with the Olympics. They had to be looking at the college model as well. Not to run it, fix it, hand it back.
Is there a lot of schools out there where the AD is kind of in the shadows, in the back? This Louisville seems like a different animal. Probably started, to be honest, with Tom and then carry forward. Does that make the job tougher because this position is looked at so differently by the community?
Well,
and the fan base.
Yeah, I mean, I can only speak to what I've talked to my peers. They know about Louisville more than they probably should. I think there's, you know, with the lack of the pro sports, you know, across the community, we certainly have soccer in here, but I mean, the Major League Sports and all that is puts us in the limelight. It's for good reason, and it's one of the great tributes of what we have here, and one of the things that we should be thankful for. But in the same vein, when you have a pimple on your face, it looks pretty bad to a lot of people, and they scrutinize a lot about it, and not just locally, but to nationally. But there's great respect for Louisville sports from I'll say the inside the conference and across the country. It's one of the beauties of being in the role is people reach out to help, and now where I'm going, I get the opportunity to help them in different ways. But no, I think Louisville's viewed as a we're more critical on ourselves locally than people are nationally, I would say.
I'm talking about the AD position specifically. You know,
I would say the same. The locals are more critical of the AD position than the nationals are. I mean, it sounds like a bragging point, so I don't mean it to say that way, but there's a reason why as many calls come in for help right now. You know, when Todd Stansbury comes in and Georgia Tech plays us in volleyball, we meet at the airport for 2 hours and drink over some beers and talk about what's next for Georgia Tech and how are we gonna help him? You know, it's just, I think they view, we got a lot of good stuff here, and people wanna know what we've done, not just the winning. I'm talking about how you run an athletic department, how you run it, how you develop people, the things we've done, the leadership and development institute, beyond the buzzer. I could go on and on about the things that have been put in place here, why we're number 1 or 2 in community service for those student athletes, why our GPA is 3.25 and our graduation success rate 91%. I could reel off all the things that they're enticing to other people. It's hard to convey to the fans and to our supporters all the good things are going on until you go out and do your speeches and community events and get to talk about them. Because no disrespect to who's in front of me, but you don't get that opportunity. It's generally a dig, or it can be antagonistic sometimes from the media, that doesn't give you a chance to talk about the wonderful things that are going on in volleyball, and Tori Dilfer and Anna Stevenson, why they came back to win a national championship. There's a lot of great stories going on here, and fans deserve to hear those too.
How is U of L with name, image, and likeness? It's only 6 months old, but how is this program in that shape?
I'd say ahead of the game. That's why Florida State wants to hear what we're doing. That's why other schools want to know what we're doing. We got on it early. We tried to think about how to present as a business model. We talked about how we're going to staff it in our future years in our operating budget, not just from we've taken Matt Banker out of compliance as an associate AD and assigned him to name, image, and likeness. We got Michael Dudas, how to work with our corporate. We brought a ton of people in to educate our student athletes. Go to our website, compare it to other schools. I think things are happening. We're on probation as an athletic department, every sport with the NCAA. We're not going to compete under the table. The way to compete is above the table. NIL avails Louisville a chance to compete above the table, and that's the way it should happen.
Your opening statement sounded like you're still athletic director a little bit. How hard is it going to be to kind of sit back now? For
I think I
you?
have a business card still, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
No, it's always hard when you put that much effort and emotion into an opportunity like I have here, and to just all of a sudden, the issues are still fluid. Now I'm gone, but the issues I've been working on, and the Danny Busman contract, or the naming rights, or whatever it be, donor, those things are still happening. And I think the staff and I will continue to engage. And I told Josh this morning, we're not gonna talk every day, friend. There's gonna be a transition, but you need to run the shop. But I'm gonna help you through this to where you kind of say, stop calling or stop texting, because I'm gonna stop calling and stop texting.
And what do you have going on next? Have you gotten to a point where you've even started to figure
No, I mean, we're gonna take our kids on a vacation, and then take a few weeks back here, enjoy some games, and then more time with Lori. Frankly, I think she enjoyed a few of those quiet days last week, so I know she's excited about that. I think in the end the kids are too, and we're fortunate to be where we are in life, and it avails us decisions not everybody gets to make, and I don't take that for granted.